Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 4 of this book discussion of The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, Mastering the Inner Game of Wealth by T. Harv Eker. It's week 4. We'll be covering pages 111 through 187. Once again, I am Sean Adams, Master Ambassador for the Midwest here. And I just wanted to let you guys know, I had mentioned that I had these missing letters here and there for a reason. And the reason is once a month, I am going to, everybody who sends me an email with a comment about the teleseminar and the number of missing letters during the 5 weeks will be put into a drawing for a free copy of the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind cards. And then once, at the end of the year, I'll also be giving away the recording of Guerrilla Business School as well. So send me a comment about the teleseminar, the number of letters that was missing, and then you guys have a chance to win fabulous prizes. So we are starting up week 4 here with the second half of the Wealth Files. And just as a reminder, the Wealth Files are the 17 ways rich people think and act differently from poor and middle class people. So we're continuing that series of the Wealth Files and the distinction between ways rich people think and act versus the way poor and middle class people think and act. And so I know that at the end of week 3 we ended up with number 9, so I think all of you can guess where we will be beginning this week with, which is of course Wealth File number 10, which is rich people are excellent receivers. Poor people are poor receivers. As you become wealthy, as you become rich, you have more and more things coming your way, more money, more opportunities, and the key is to always be thankful, grateful, and celebrate each of these things as they come to you. You must learn to receive from a place of gratitude and excitement. Poor people often do not, and rich people celebrate and receive everything. They may find a penny in the street and celebrate it. So it's always receiving, always being grateful, always being good at receiving everything that comes your way. So the first wealth principle that coincides with this is, if you say you're worthy, you are. And if you say you're not worthy, you're not. Either way, you're going to live into your story. And what's meant by this is you get to choose the life you're going to have. If you feel, if you say that you're going to be rich, you'll be rich. If you say, well, I haven't become rich yet, you're never going to become rich because you're not seeing yourself as rich. You're seeing yourself as somebody who hasn't been rich. You're seeing yourself as somebody who's not worthy of everything coming your way. You've got to change that mentality, and you've got to believe that you are worthy. It's that simple. All right. So now we're going to move into the next one of these because it's important that we cover these wealth principles. This one is a great illustration of what's wrong with how we think sometimes. If a 100-foot oak tree had the mind of a human, it would only grow to be 10 feet tall. And what Harv means by this is the fact that we often cause ourselves to not succeed or have the success to the level that we're capable of because we have some inherent belief that we're not worthy, we're not big enough to be able to handle it, whatever it might be, but our mind prevents us from living and growing into our maximum level of success. And so we need to get past that and not let our minds hold us back from the success and the ability to succeed in the areas that we want. Another thing is that oftentimes people, what holds them back is they don't feel they're worthy. They're not worthy of that promotion. They're not worthy of the money, the success, the house, the car, whatever it might be. So I'm here to anoint you. So put your arms out, stand up. By the power invested in me, I hereby anoint you as worthy from now until forevermore. So, what do I mean by that? You are worthy. Doesn't matter. If you want that car, you're worthy of it. There should be nothing holding you back. There should be no doubts. You are absolutely 100% worthy of having everything you wish, desire to have. So anytime that comes up, you can just say, you know what? I've been anointed. It's too bad. This doesn't matter anymore. This is just mind frick. I'm anointed. It's all good. Next wealth principle. For every giver, there must be a receiver, and for every receiver, there must be a giver. And the idea behind this is that it is a two-way street. Whenever you're giving, you're hoping the receiver is grateful for the gift you've given them. When you're receiving, you must be grateful and thankful for the person who's given it to you. There is no just giver or just a receiver. There are always two people in the equation. And at times you're going to be on one side or the other side of that equation. At both times, you have an important role to play, and you need to make sure you're doing it correctly with gratitude, appreciation, energy, support. Um, Next wealth principle. Money will only make you more of what you already are. And what's meant by this is, if you're happy, money will make you happier. But if you're unhappy, money is not going to make you happy. It's just going to make you more unhappy. So you actually have to change your state before the money arrives, because then the money will just reinforce and accentuate your state. So get happy first, get comfortable, get excited, get rich, whatever it is, emotionally first, and then the money will just help to enhance your state. So change your state first, then the money will help enhance the state you're in. Next wealth principle. How you do anything is how you do everything. This is a tough one for some people, but it's true. You may claim that you are extremely motivated, and yet you haven't gotten around to mowing the lawn in a month because you didn't want to. Well, then clearly you're not motivated, because how you do anything is how you do everything. And you may claim to be motivated, but if you're not mowing the lawn, clearly you're not motivated to mow the lawn, therefore you're not really motivated. So you can look at any piece of your life and how you're choosing to act, and it is a reflection of your life in general as a whole. So you need to keep that in mind, and you need to look at the actions and the way you're approaching your life each moment, every day. All right, back to declarations time. Time for you guys to play 1000%. Put your hands on your heart. I am an excellent receiver. I am open and willing to receive massive amounts of money into my life. Hand on the head. I have a millionaire mind. Or for all you super overachievers, I have a billionaire mind. You guys have to say these like you mean it, like you believe it, like it's true for you. If it isn't, then this isn't going to work. You've got to do this 1000%. Be totally committed to it. That is what's going to make the difference. That is how it's going to change your life. So play 1000% and do these full on. It's what matters. All right, time is for you guys to take some action. First action step. Practice being an excellent receiver. Each time someone gives you a compliment of any sort, simply say thank you. And that's a challenging for one, because usually people want to return a compliment with another compliment. And all you're doing is deflecting the original compliment. You're not actually receiving it. And what you're doing is actually insulting the person who gave it to you. Say thank you for the compliment. And then a few minutes later, if you want to return one, that's fine. But always, always receive the compliment fully. Any, and I mean any money you find or receive should be enthusiastically celebrated. Go ahead and scream out, I am a money magnet! Thank you, thank you, thank you! I don't care if it's a penny on the ground. It's a penny. The universe has given you a penny for free. Celebrate it. The more you celebrate the small amounts of money that come into your life, the more prepared you are for the larger amounts. And then pamper yourself. At least once a month, do something for you that's going to nourish you, your spirit. That might be going to get a massage. That might be, taking a nice hot bath. Whatever it is, but always, always make sure that you're treating yourself like royalty. You are the most important person in your life. Make sure that you are treating yourself that way, and you're honoring it, and you're celebrating yourself as often as you can, pampering yourself as best you can. Get that massage, get that facial, get whatever it is that you want to do. Find a way to pamper yourself. Wealth file number 11. Rich people choose to get paid based on results. Poor people choose to get paid based on time. Do you want to get paid for the time that you're putting in, or for the results that you create? I personally like to get paid for the results, because there are some things I can do much faster than my competition, and I don't want to have to sit there and put in 40-hour work week in order to get paid the same amount they are. I want to say, here's the task you gave me, I accomplished it, they may take 40 hours, I did it in 10, they don't need to know how long it took me. I did it, give me my money for what I accomplished, not for sitting here pretending I'm working for you. So, get paid for results, not for time. It's a challenge, especially if you're currently working for other people, but there's ways to work on that. Next wealth principle. There's nothing wrong with getting a steady paycheck, unless it interferes with your ability to earn what you're worth. There's the rub. It usually does. Steady paychecks are usually based on hourly work and do not always reflect your absolute highest level of worth. If you're not getting paid, if you are the best in your field and you're not getting paid the best in your field, then that steady paycheck is interfering with your ability to earn what you're worth. Stuff you got to think about. Doesn't mean go out and quit your job right now, but it's stuff you need to start reflecting on, and you start to need to find ways to be able to get paid what you're worth. It's a challenge. It's not easy. It will pay off. Next wealth principle. Never have a ceiling on your income. I was working with a client the other day, and she used to work in the high-tech industry and was making $400,000 a year. And now she is self-employed, and she couldn't comprehend the idea of making $400,000 a year as a self-employed coach until I helped her realize that you used to get paid that, and you were worth it, and you're better at coaching than you were at high-tech. Why are you not worth $400,000 a year as a coach? And so it got to that point where she realized, oh wow, I am worthy of that much money even in my own business, because my skill level deserves that level. I'm an excellent coach. I should get paid for that. If I can get paid that amount of money in my old job, I can get paid new. All right, declarations. Once again, 1,000%. You better be standing up. You better have your hands on your heart. You better be screaming this out loud. Hands on your heart. I choose to get paid based on my results. Remember, it's results, not time. All right, hand on the heads. I have a millionaire mind. Or my overachievers out there, my Donald Trumps of the world, I have a billionaire mind. Remember, you've got to believe this stuff. You're not just saying it because it's fun. You're not doing this because you like to heart to head touching the stuff. You've got to be focused, believe this is happening, commit to it, and make this a reality in your life. When you do that, you will get the success you want. All right, time to start taking some action. Action step number 1. Propose a compensation plan to your employer that would allow you to get paid at least partly based on your individual results, as well as the results for the company. So this may take some creativity and some challenging, but try it. Sit down with your boss and say, you know what, you want me to work on this project? I want to get a bonus based on how well this project benefits the project is done well on time and how much it benefits the institution. Don't give me a raise, give me a bonus for this and for every new project you give me. See if it'll work. And also, and this is one thing to start looking at, don't have to run into it, but it's consider starting your own business. When you run your own business, you have a lot more power. You get to pay yourself first, which on the 5th week, I'll tell you a little bit more about a teaching Harp has for that, about the importance of paying yourself first. But also the idea of it's just beneficial for money, for taxes, for income, all of that stuff. Starting your own business can be very beneficial, and you don't have to always do it full time. You can have a small on-the-side business that you do in your free time while maintaining your steady paycheck until you get to a point where you're financially stable enough to leave the paycheck and have the business be your income. Okay, wealth file number 12. Rich people think both. Poor people think either or. I was out to dinner after an event, and the person who helped to put on the event, who was treating us because we were staff out to dinner, we were at Benihana's, and he's like, if you get chicken, you're fired. I want you guys getting a lobster and some other expensive thing on the thing, because he wants us to learn to think like rich people. You get the duo of everything. It's not just lobster or steak. It's and lobster. You got to think both. You deserve both. Rich people know they get both. They get the house and the car. They get the villa in Italy and the ski trip in Austria. Whatever it might be. Think both, not either or. All right, wealth principle. Rich people believe you can have your cake and eat it too. Middle class people believe cake is too rich, so I'll only have a little piece. Poor people don't believe they deserve the cake, so they order a donut, focus on the whole, and then wonder why they have nothing. So it all goes back to, do you deserve the cake? Can you have the cake and eat it too? Do you deserve both? Do you deserve all? All of that is yours if you believe you deserve it. It's not just about, oh, I should only have this little piece of the pie. There's unlimited wealth out there, folks. You can have $5 billion and other people can still have all the wealth they need. Plenty out there. It's not about taking it away from other people. There's plenty out there. You're just getting your cake and eating it too. All right. Once again, declaration time, hands on heart. I want you guys full in on this always. Okay. You better have high energy on this one. Hand on your heart. I always think both. All right. Hands on the head. I have a millionaire mind. My Donald Trumps. I have a billionaire mind. I want you guys thinking this way. This is how you're supposed to think. When you start thinking this way and aligning your actions, thoughts, and feelings with these declarations, you will start to see shifts in your world that bring you towards the success that you want. It happens. Trust it. Do the actions. And speaking of actions, here's our next action steps. Number 1, practice thinking and creating ways of having both. How can you have both the steak and lobster? How can you have the large paycheck and vacation with the family? Number 2, become aware that money in circulation adds to everyone's life. Each time you spend money, you say to yourself, this money will go through hundreds of people and create value for all of them. So your $1 isn't just $1 for one person, it's $1 for multiple people as it gets circulated. Keep that in mind. Unbelievably important, unbelievably powerful, unbelievably helpful. And then think of yourself as a role model for others, showing them all that you can be rich and loving, because that's the point. You've got to learn that not only can you be kind, loving, rich, generous, but by doing that and being that rich person who breaks their perceived model of rich people, you're helping them realize they can become rich without selling their soul or being a bad person or any of those other programming things that we talked about back in week 2. So be the role model of the type of rich person you want to be and you want to see, and then other people will see it and they'll be able to also fit into that role model. It's good stuff. You can do it. Wealth file number 13. Rich people focus on their net worth. Poor people focus on their working income. Do you look at how much money you make a month, or do you look at how much you're worth? And it's important that it's the money each month is great for paying bills and things like that, but that's not what gets you to rich. What gets you to rich is your net worth. How much are you totally worth? Are those investments building and growing and paying off? Is the state helping? Whatever it might be that you're doing, gotta focus in on net worth, not just paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck doesn't get you anywhere. Wealth principle that matches this. The true measure of wealth is net worth, not working income. I know this is repetitive. I know this is the exact same sentence, but that if you're not getting this, you're not going to get to where you need to be. Start worrying about, thinking about, focusing in on how are you growing your net worth. It's not about necessarily increasing your working income, it's increasing your net worth. Is the money you have going to build your net worth? You don't need to change your salary to grow your net worth. You just have to be more intentional about it. So that's what I want you thinking about. That's what I want you focused in on. You'll get there. It's going to be okay. All right. There are 4 factors that help explain, show your net worth. 1, your income. 2, your savings. 3, your investments. And 4, and this is the one where it's the easiest place for people to start, but they don't think about it, simplification. What can you do to decrease your expenses right now so that your income goes farther? Do you really need to have cable TV, or is it just a waste of money and time and it sucks you away from being productive? Look at those expenses that you might have that you no longer need. I got rid of my car because I live in a city with public transportation. I don't need to pay for a car and insurance, all of that stuff. Simplify if you can. Wealth principle. Where attention goes, energy flows, and results show. What you focused in on, what you're paying attention on, is where the energy goes and where your results are going to be. If you're focused in on success, joy, ease, and wealth, you're going to have success, joy, ease, and wealth. If you're focused in on difficulties, trials, obstacles, struggles, you're going to have more difficulties, trials, obstacles, and struggles. Where you're putting your attention is where the energy is flowing and where you're going to see results. So put your attention on the positive, beneficial outcomes, not the negative struggles. Where your attention is where your results will come. All right, folks. Once again, time for your declaration. I want you guys playing 1,000%. You've got to be all in on these things. You got to believe these when you're saying them. You got to feel them at your core. You got to change this at a cellular level. Hands on your heart. I focus on building my net worth. And then hands on the head. I have a millionaire mind. Or my Bransons out there, I have a billionaire mind. Believe it, feel it at your core, at your base level. If you're doing that, if that's where you're at, you will have the success you want. It's got to come down to you being focused, committed, making it happen. Time for your actions. Number 1, focus on all 4 net worth factors. Simplification is the easiest place to start. 2, create a net worth statement. To do this, add the current dollar value of everything you own, which are your assets, and subtract the total value of everything you owe, which are your liabilities. That will tell you what your net worth is. Also, hire a financial planner who is highly successful and works for a reputable company. You don't want to do this alone. It's not your job to know everything there is about investing and real estate and markets and all of that stuff. There are people who are experts out there. Pay them to be experts for you. Make sure it's a reputable company so you're not going to get caught up in some kind of Ponzi scheme. And make sure that you're doing it in a way that is responsible for you, getting the help you need. You don't have to learn everything. You don't have to be the expert. You just have to know who are the experts. It's all about, I don't need to know everything in my world. I just need to know who to call to get those answers. So I surround myself with people who have the wisdom and knowledge I don't have. So when I need that information, I know who I can tap and get. That makes me successful. Wealth file number 14. Rich people manage their money well. Poor people mismanage their money well. Your money, when it's coming in, it doesn't matter how big or how small, you've got to learn to manage it correctly. And at the Millionaire Mind Intensive, they go over a very simple money management system that works tremendously well. You can register for the MMI by going to mmifforfree.com, or I'll talk more about it in week 5. But you've got to learn to manage your money well. Poor people too often do not do that well, and that is why they don't have a lot of money, because they haven't managed it well. They've mismanaged their money. Very important to learn to manage your money appropriately. And the wealth principle that goes with this is very simple. Either you control your money or it will control you. Are you in control? Do you know where your money is going? Do you get to choose how your money is getting spent? Or are you being controlled by your money, controlled by that paycheck? At that point where you have to, that paycheck has to come in at this amount in order for you to be okay. That's money controlling you. You want to be at a place where you control money. The money works for you. You don't work for the money. It takes time. It takes energy. You can and will get there. And all of these things that we're talking about, all these principles, everything in this book will help you get there. And the other thing that will get you are these declarations, people. I know I say this every time, and I know it's probably getting redundant, and I know you're probably rolling your eyes at me, and I'm okay with that. I want you playing full on. So if I'm annoying you by making you have to stand up, put your hand on your heart, I don't care. Hand on your heart. I am an excellent money manager. Hands on your heads. I have a millionaire mind. For my Richard Bransons out there, I have a billionaire mind. You gotta believe this stuff to be true for you. If you don't, you're not gonna be successful. Own this stuff, believe it, make it a reality in your life. Let's take some actions, folks. These are the things that will help you get to where you want to be. Number 1, open your financial freedom bank account and put 10% of all your income after taxes into this account. This is money you never touch. This is money that just goes to build your net worth. Number 2, create a financial freedom jar in your home and deposit money into it every day. This can be change you find on the street, or when you go and buy a coffee, any change you have in your pocket. Whatever change I have at the end of the day goes right into my financial freedom jar in my house. I have no idea how much is in it. It's one of those big, giant water jugs, and it just keeps filling up with more and more coins, dollars, change, whatever. It's filling up with money. Eventually, all that money will go to help build my net worth. I never touch it. It's for me. The last part is opening up your other accounts, like your Play account, where 10% of your money goes in. 10% for long-term savings for spending, 10% for education, 50% for necessity, and 10% for give. And start managing your money in this way. If you go to millionairemindforfree.com and look at the slide up, you can actually get a little bit more clarity on how to use this system, this jar system, as Harv calls it, to get some more clarity. So millionairemindforfree.com, on the bottom slide up, is a course I put together based on what Harv has taught, the jar system, if you want to learn a little bit more about that. So learn to manage your money, learn to do it properly. Start with whatever amount you can. Wealth file number 15. Rich people have their money work hard for them. Poor people work hard for their money. And I know I said this before, but it's important that we keep reiterating this. In order to be rich, your money works for you. A perfect example is my parents. They made some great investments, and now they live off of the interest off of one investment. So their money pays them to live. They did a great job of putting their money into something so that they could build their net worth, and now what they make in interest off of this investment covers their monthly expenses. That's having your money work for you instead of having to get a job and a paycheck to pay for your stuff. Wealth principle. Rich people see every dollar as a seed that can be planted to earn $100 more, which can then be replanted to earn $1,000 more. Money is not something to be spent. Money is something to be planted and grown into more money, which can be then grown into more money, which can then be grown into more money. So if you think of your money in that way, you spend your money very differently. It's not meant to be spent on stuff. It's meant to be spent to create more of the money so that you can have more money to spend on stuff. Very important principle, very important concept. Make sure your money is working for you, you not working for your money. Plant those seeds to have what you want. It's very important. The more you plant those, remember, the roots create the fruits. Plant those seeds, let them grow. Then you can have the fruits you want. All right, folks, hands on your heart. My money works hard for me and makes me more and more money. I love having my money work for me. Next, hands on your head. I have a millionaire mind. And for you Bransons out there, I have a billionaire mind. I'm running out of billionaire idea, people. But you guys get the idea. Believe it. These people have done it. You can do it too. There's nothing special about Trump, nothing special about Branson, other than they committed to being rich and put in the effort that needed to happen. So they took the actions they needed to take. So number one, next action, get educated. Take investment seminars. Read at least one investment book a week. Invest. Learn to put your money into investment so that your money will work hard for you. Start getting the education. Surround yourself with people who know more. Learn from them. It helps. It's beneficial. 2, change your focus from active income to passive income. This has been a life changer for me. I no longer am focused in on the money I'm getting by actively working for it. I have systems in place where I worked hard to get the system created, and now the system makes me money without me having to be present. Unbelievably powerful. Passive income can change your life. Work hard at it. Build your passive income. It's passive income once you've built it. It's not get rich now. It's build a system that then brings you passive income. It works. It's worth the time and energy and effort. And also, don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. I was having this conversation last night. Real estate, yes, it went down again that last month. Who cares? It's low. If you can afford and you can get in, start doing intelligent investing in real estate. Real estate will go back up. You will have a great chance to make some money off of this. So take advantage of that opportunity. Wealth file number 16. Rich people act in spite of fear. Poor people let fear stop them. There are things I've done in order to be successful. I quit my higher education job at the beginning of the worst recession since the Depression so that I could start my own business. And it meant I had a year and a half of really rough times, scrimping by, but I didn't let the fear of starting my own business in a bad recession stop me from taking action. And now I'm in a completely different place. I make more money monthly than I ever did in higher education. It matters. I made the decision to act in spite of fear. Wealth principle, action is the bridge between the inner world and the outer world. So remember, those 3 pieces that were the inner world equals your results, which is the blueprint, which is your physical outer world. The action you take is that bridge between who you are internally, what you have externally. It's not about just hoping it happens. You've got to take action to make it a reality. So it's about taking action. We talked about these little steps. Make a list of 10 things. Do one of them right now. Taking action matters. Wealth principle. A true warrior can tame the cobra of fear. One of the courses Harv offers after the Millionaire Mind is called Enlightened Warrior Camp. Amazing, amazing course that teaches you, pushes you, gets you to realize there's nothing that can stop you. You don't live in the warrior all the time, but it's a great little tool you can pull out when you need to tame the cobra of fear. I have this saying, leap and the net will appear. If you're afraid of something, do the thing that scares you most. These are the things that you need to be doing. If you can get past that fear, you'll realize you can conquer it and be successful. So you've got to learn to be able to tame that cobra of fear. Next wealth principle. It is necessary to try to get rid of fear in order to succeed. I know we're harping on fear a lot, and we're just saying it in a lot of different ways, but this is the point. Fear is going to be your biggest roadblock if you don't learn to overcome fear. If it scares you, do it. You're gonna survive. For one of my passive income streams, it requires me making cold calls to people. I hate doing that. It scares the hell out of me. I still do it every day because it brings me large passive income. So it's worth the calls and the fear that goes into it. And after I've done it a couple times and realized that I don't die from the rejection, that fear starts to go away and it becomes easier and easier and easier to do. Next wealth principle. If you are willing to do only what's easy, life will be hard. If you're willing to do what's hard, life will be easy. If you can take on the biggest challenge, everything else after that is really easy. If there's that thing that you're really scared of and you know it's going to be difficult for you to do it. When you achieve it, you're going to realize, wow, everything after this is a piece of cake because I was able to achieve that really difficult, hard thing. So now life is very easy. So be willing to, don't shirk away from bigger challenges. Take them head on, know them, that you can achieve them, believe in them, and kick their butts so that then you know everything after that is going to be fine. Next wealth principle. The only time you are actually growing is when you are uncomfortable. This goes back to leap and the net will appear, all these other things I've been telling you. If it scares you, if it makes you uncomfortable, if you have a choice between taking path A, path B, path A is comfortable and easy, path B is more challenging, odds are you need to take path B because you need to get through that challenge and it's going to lead you to something greater. Because one, you're going to grow yourself, and remember, a person 8 doesn't even see a 5-level problem as a problem anymore. So taking on challenges grows you a bigger and a better than your challenges, makes it easy for you to overcome them. Next wealth principle. Training and managing your own mind is the most important skill you could ever own in terms of both happiness and success. And this goes back to, remember, thoughts, feelings, actions, results. It goes back to thoughts. You've got to learn to train your mind to think the way you need to think in order to be happy, to have success, to have the riches and everything else you want in your life. It all starts at thoughts. Learn to train your mind. Learn to manage your mind. If a negative thought comes out, quickly dismiss it. Say thank you for sharing. I don't need you anymore. Replace it with a positive thought. Consistently focus in on how you're thinking and manage your thoughts. It will matter. All right, folks, lots of declarations on this one. Here we go. Hands on your heart. I act in spite of fear. I act in spite of doubt. I act in spite of worry. I act in spite of inconvenience. I act in spite of discomfort. I act when I'm not in the mood. Hands on your foreheads. I have a millionaire mind. I have a billionaire mind. Take these actions. And you know the next thing that's coming up are action steps. If you can act in spite of all of those things to get these action steps done, you will see significant different growth shift in your life. Do these action steps. Don't just read them and listen to me read them to you. Do them. They will make the difference. Number 1, list your 3 greatest worries, concerns, or fears regarding money and wealth. Then challenge them. I worry about money because what if I lose it all? Well, if I lose it all, I can make it all back again. Okay, there's your way of challenging it. So list them and then challenge them. Practice getting out of your comfort zone. Intentionally make decisions that are uncomfortable for you. It doesn't sound very fun, but it will change you, your life, your ability to succeed. So get out of your comfort zone. And then the third action to take is practice employing power thinking. Observe yourself and your thought patterns. This is important, folks. Think about your thought patterns. Power think. Think from the perspective of owning your own power, knowing you're in control of yourself, your life, your destiny, and that anything you want is in your reach if you choose to take it. It comes down to what you decide to think about. It all comes down to your thoughts. Choose them wisely, manage them well, dismiss negative ones when they show up, focus in on positive. Wealth file number 17. Rich people constantly learn and grow. Poor people think they already know. This goes back to either you can be rich or you can be right. I'm more than happy to be the richest, dumbest person on the planet. I don't know anything. I know enough to be rich and I know enough to think right, but I don't just, if I'm going into a real estate thing and I'm not sure how to do it, I ask somebody who knows more. I don't say, oh yeah, I know that. No, I listen, I hear them, I learn from them, because then I become better. I never say, I know that. 3 most dangerous words in the English language, I know that. You don't know that. You know part of it. They may know more. Listen to them. Wealth principle. Every master was once a disaster. I was not good at speaking in front of people. I was not good at organizing teleseminars. I was not good at creating websites. My first website, all of my first projects looked silly and ridiculous and were not good. But I've learned over time. I've listened to people. I've taken the wisdom from people who know more, taken the time to learn from them, practiced to refine my skills. Now I can do this with you guys with ease, comfort. So I was a disaster. I'm now a master. You too can be a master in whatever it is you want to be. It's okay if you don't start there. No one does. Wealth principle. To get paid the best, you must be the best. So you may start at the point of a disaster. You may start as the person who doesn't know well. Michael Jordan is the perfect example of this. Got cut from his high school basketball team, ended up being the greatest player in NBA history. I'm from Chicago, so I may be biased there, but you guys aren't going to doubt that he's phenomenal. That's the idea. He became the best, and he got paid for it. He got paid better than anyone ever else did because he became the best. He started out as a disaster, became a master, became the best at what he does, and got paid for it. So take the time, learn to grow, and you will get to where you need to be, and you'll get paid because of your new level of mastery. It works, trust me. Declaration time, hands on your hearts. I am committed to constantly learning and growing. Hands on the head. I have a millionaire mind. My super overachievers. I have a billionaire mind. You guys can do this. You guys need to take the actions. Do these declarations every day. In week 5, I will tell you about a way to get these all listed out for you for free. So make sure you show up for week 5. Actions to take. First action. Commit to your growth. Each month, read at least 1 book. And that means a book that helps benefit you. I love Dan Brown. He's fun to read. He's not necessarily helping to benefit me. I don't count him as my monthly book. Even though I do enjoy reading him, and he's still something I read. Stephen King, same concept. Doesn't necessarily help me grow. Really entertaining. I also read an investment book, a real estate book, whatever it might be. Number 2, consider hiring a personal coach to keep you on track. Coaching helps. It's what I do for a living. If you ever were looking for a new coach, you can always go ahead and contact me through millionairemindforfree.com or orangevestcoaching.com. I would be happy to see if I can help you or find somebody who can help you. And then the action you should take, and I'll go into this in a lot more detail in week 5, go to the Millionaire Mind Intensive. You think this book has a bunch of information? Imagine 3 days of intensive work on yourself, nonstop, making yourself do these things. It's amazing. It's powerful. In week 5, I will give you a way to go with you and 9 other people for free. Next week, we're going to cover pages 187 through 204. There's also going to be a whole lot of opportunities for some free stuff that I want to offer you guys. So make sure you show up for week 5. It's all about what can you do next? What actions can you take? I appreciate you guys being here. I hope you've enjoyed week 4. I look forward to speaking with you guys again next week on week 5.